Hey, everybody. Happy, what is it? Sometimes I lose track of the days. I do. And at my age, it happens. It happens every so often. Guys, thank you for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to spend a few minutes with me here on SML TV. You know, the other day, I'm going through my comments, and I come across this comment. This gentleman, I forget his name. He says to me, he says, Mr. Muir, I'm a big fan of you and a big fan of yours, along with my daughter. The only problem is my kid gets distracted with your hand motions. Your hand motions are exaggerated, and then your microphone is in the way of your face. So this episode I'm dedicating to you and your daughter. I've adjusted my mic. Okay, it's down here, which I don't like that. Let me tell you why I don't like that, because I want you to see Michael Jackson's Dangerous album. So here it is, I'll fix this. Give me a second here. See? There you go. When I put the mic down below here, it means it obstructs my stuff behind me. And I want you to see that, because it's all part of the aesthetics, is what they tell you. So this gentleman says to me, he says, you know, your hand motions are exaggerated and your mic's in the way. So I'm doing the best I can to sort of appease you. Okay. And if I fall short of that, please forgive me. Guys, let's talk about it. A few shout outs to you guys before we begin. Brown, is this Brown? We appreciate all you do, sir. Thank you. Bless you. Somebody's watching us from Namibia. Can you believe it? I've never been to Namibia. One of the places I'd love to go, it should be on my bucket list. It's not. You know, I'm 54 years old. I've got about 50 more years of this, and then I'll be gone. Okay, somebody else will be sitting here. And but that should be one of the items on my bucket list, Namibia. Another place that is fantastic, I hear, is Tanzania. Have you heard this? The country of Tanzania, beautiful. Thank you, Namibia. Thank you for watching. One more shout out. Keep up the good work. Good morning, Mr. Mwera. I'm watching you from John Howard. Kwa Howard. Howard, welcome. We appreciate you so much. Guys, before I go into my little verbal dissertation, if that's even a thing, let me just share with you something that you know, it here, let me fix this. Oh goodness, I should have done this. I should have done this earlier and I didn't do it. Ja, man on my internet. Ja, folks da it's acting crazy. Here it is. Let me just fix this here so that we're on the same page. Should have done this earlier. There we go. Okay. So let me talk to you a few minutes. You guys, you remember when the police service withdrew 13 officers from former President Lungu's house. You remember that. And there was a big hoopla about that. And, the members of the Patriotic Front were very upset about that. Well, the truth was, and the police did send out a communique. The police did say, we haven't withdrawn every single solitary security personnel. What we've done is that we've reduced the numbers because by law, he's only supposed to have 3 people guarding him. He had 13. So they removed a certain number. Then the NPF, the Notorious Patriotic Front, they swung into action and they said, well, if the state is not going to provide security for the former head of state, we as a party, namely the Patriotic Front, aka the Notorious Patriotic Front, we as a party will provide security for the former president. So these hooligans, these vagabonds, these despots, these bottom feeders from everywhere made an announcement. One of the youth guys made an announcement, said, hey, I'm calling upon all of our PF youth to come here to the former president's residence and let's guard and protect our president. So they went there in the droves. They went there, a whole army of them went there. They started camping outside. Now, one of the guys, oh, somebody says sound is tripping. Is it really? It's my connection. Sound is tripping. I may have to cut this off, Somebody says sound is tripping. If the sound's tripping, then we're not going to do this. I'll need to switch my internet. If the sound's tripping, then I need to switch my internet. If it's not clear, tell me if it's clear. Is it clear? If it's not clear, then we're not. Oh, no, it's not clear. Sorry. I don't think is it clear? Tell me in the comments, guys. Sound is okay. It's fine. Loud and clear. Okay. So a group of NPF guys went to the former president's house. Now, one of the guys, one of the most notable members of the PF is a Kada by the name of Joe Black Apple. Now, I know Joe Black Apple. I know him personally. He's a very notorious, during the time of the PF, he was very instrumental in this area, namely Simoson City Market area, Lumumba Road. He was a terror. I mean, this guy used to wake up in the morning and he would just arbitrarily do stuff and he felt untouchable. You couldn't say anything to Joe. Joe was a law unto himself. He was a buff guy. He's a buff guy. You know what it means to be buff? Buff. Daddy bomba. Dark skinned guy. Nothing wrong with being dark. I'm just describing him to you. Dark skinned guy, buff guy, lift weights. He used to walk around here like he was King Tut. He used to walk around here like he was the be all and end all. Walked around here like he was like he was everything between now and Goliath, and he was a terror. And I came to know Joe. There was a time in City Market, the shelters in City Market collapsed because of some freakish wind that blew through here. City Market had erroneously installed billboards on top of the shelters. And so when the wind would come through, the billboards were like a wall. It was like pushing against the wall. The entire shelter came down. And thankfully that day, miraculously, no one was hurt. Nobody was killed. But these huge, massive shelters came crashing down. They destroyed cars, vehicles, but nobody was hurt. Well, that's when I came to know Joe, because Joe was instrumental in stealing, okay, ukwiba, okay, I've said this before. I've been saying this for years. Nobody has ever done anything to Joe, okay? Him and his cohorts. Now you have to remember this was during the NPF. This was during the time of the PF when those two shelters in City Market came down because of that freakish weather. Joe was at the forefront of cutting the steel. You know, the steel, Ishimbi. Joe was stealing the steel in full view of the police, in full view of city council workers. I remember vlogging that day, walking around, recording them doing this. Oh my goodness. Joe and his band of criminals attacked me, literally rained on me. They came down on me like a ton of bricks, boy. They slapped me around, pushed me around, threatened me. They did everything except, stick a knife in my chest. And that's when I came to know Joe. Later on, I saw Joe at Bachishim Bakambwiri's event. Bakambwiri was doing something, and Joe was at the forefront of trying to get Bachishim Bakambwiri's name to become the front runner as the presidential candidate for the Patriotic Front. Joe was the big guy with the white shirt, and he wears an American bandana. Joe was Innocent Kalimanshi's lieutenant, one of his lieutenants. You guys know him. If you saw him, you'd know him. If you see him on a picture, you'd go, "Oh, is this Joe?" Everybody knows him, as we say in Zambia, Fishari. Ever heard people say that? I know him, Fishari. Fishari ni muziba. All of you know Joe facially. He doesn't use his government name. Nobody knows his government name apart from people that are close to him. Because, most of these cadres, that's what they do. They never use their government names. It's always Joe Spider, Joy, some crazy, obscure name. Yero, Fungi, some strange name. And the reason they don't like using their government names, the names that their mother gave them, the names that their mothers gave them, is because they know they'll be in trouble. Criminals are like that. And that's a telltale sign. Anytime a criminal doesn't want to give you their real name, we should, if you red flag criminal. Most of these kadas, they're like that. They don't like giving their real names. Anyway, so a short time after that, we heard that these kadas, P.F Cadres, wanted to provide. Days ago, Joe went to former President Lungu's house, and guess what happened to him? His phone got stolen. The word of God says, "Can a leopard change its spots? Can a leopard change its spots? It can't. That's just its nature, its character." So when I heard that Joe went to provide security at former President Lungu's house, him and his band of crooks, and then while he was there, got his phone stolen, I turned around and I said, "Well, I'm not surprised. Does that surprise you? Does that shock you? Huh? When you hear that a thief has been robbed, does that shock you? When you hear that a vagabond has been beaten, does that shock you?" It doesn't shock me, because that's just the nature of who he is. So, of course, he's not going to go to the police. Criminals rarely do. Can you imagine why n'abantu mwamukulunda ba former President Lungu? Namwikala pansi mune untane mbawula. Namwikere pansi, and then all of a sudden you about kusecha. Abanove, the same chaps you are with bakusecha. Leti, hey, waisa mukulonda ba kateka. Manjibira phone. Amambala. Yimwe, mwabakoro yimwe, that's the nature of the NPF. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. It's a true story. It is. All righty. Thanks for watching. Let me highlight a couple of comments here. Oh, this is a good one. I'm loving this. There's no honor among thieves. Best quote of the day right there. Who is that? Isaac Mambo. There's no honor among thieves. There's no integrity amongst thieves. You can't take the word of a thief. And then this one says to the three, I promise you, I won't do anything bad. Well, that's ridiculous. There is no honor among thieves. Perfect quote. Guys, thank you so much. God bless.